Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Alan from Stone Whiskey, and you're watching CMS TV.
It's Chris from WXTM. How you doing, man?
Hey, Chris. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Good.
Well, first of all, man, as always, it is a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you, Chris.
Super big fan for at least 20 years. So,
boy.
No, very cool. Well, first thing, man, let's talk about the CD release.
Okay.
Obviously, it is the music from the DVD.
Mm-hmm.
What made you decide to go with this show to put out versus the newer show with Goldie on guitar?
I think a lot of that has to be, down to the business end of all that. And what happened was that the DVD was our last project for Spitfire.
Okay.
We were on at the time. We've since signed with Sanctuary. So I think that, Spitfire, probably rightfully so for themselves, said, well, why don't we release an album from this as well? One more product to peddle, whatever it may have been. I mean, I thought it was a great idea. I mean, I'm not saying that I thought the idea of having one for the road and one for the home was interesting. And I wasn't bothered because it was a great show. But in doing it really more for the DVD, it was meant to be a total package. You heard it and you saw it. For them to do that was again not something that I instigated, but I didn't tell them no either, because again I thought it was a good idea because it was a good product as well. So that's the way that came out. But it wasn't me or mine who sat around and said, hey, let's release a live album for this. So it wasn't us.
Right, no doubt. Now, obviously, since that was recorded, you have had the guitarist change. Obviously, you are familiar with Craig Goldie and working with him and the dynamics of working with him. Mm-hmm. Has the band itself changed as a result of him coming back to the band? Well,
I think one of the things that is important to mention is that Jimmy Bain is no longer with us either.
Right.
That our bass player is Rudy Zarzo. So that makes right away an immense change, just from the standpoint of Rudy being such a great musician, and secondly because he just slopped so well into this band. It's really phenomenal.
Sure.
As far as so there was a change after Craig's. So if you know what I mean,
right.
Tempered it slightly. It would be. I could tell you how the other three would have felt had Rudy not also come in. So, but it was always. Craig came back to us at a time when Doug had gone off with Whitesnake and was on the road, and we had a tour plan, so we were without a guitar player. We were lucky enough that Craig had sorted himself out and came back and stepped right into the slot, so we were fine. So I thought everyone was quite pleased by the fact that we were able to carry on, and it went so smoothly, and it sounded so good. So when Jimmy was gone and we did get a new bass player, it just really solidified the comfortableness of this band. And I was very comfortable, and that's what you really strive for. Everybody's really great, but nobody's a threat to anybody else.
Sure. So what is on the plate for you this year? I've heard all kinds of rumors about Rainbow reunions and Dio tours. What is exactly going on in the Dio camp right now? Well,
it's Dio tours. There is no Rainbow. That's some rumor that started and got very blown out of proportion, apparently. That from what I can understand, from what I've heard about the statement that was made, that it seemed that it was my fault that I had gone around and gotten, Vinny Appice and Jimmy Bain and Tony Carey, and we were going to reform Rainbow, and Richie replied to it that this was not true, and I said I didn't know anything about it until someone read me Richie's reply. But there's never been any truth for that for me, not until about 5 years ago when we had one opportunity to do one show in Japan.
Right.
Just to record it, and that was it. And that was going to be, thank you, all over. Now here's what you wanted, now here's what you got. But after that didn't happen, I just divorced myself from it all. I don't want to do that again. And Richie's very happy with what he's doing. I'm very happy with what I'm doing. Neither one of us need to go back there again. So, no, I'm not doing one.
Do you ever look at the big R word and say, maybe 3 more years and I'm done, or 5 more years and I'm through, or whatever?
No, I don't put time limits on anything. I just let it go as it goes. That's what I've done with my life. I've not ever had, the 5-year plan or the 10-year plan. It didn't work for Stalin, so sure as hell it's not going to work for me. So I don't have any of those kind of things. I just go until, I'll know. I'll just know when it's time not to do this anymore. That I won't be able to do it at the peak that I expect. and I'm sure that'll happen. And when that happens, then I'll stop singing. I probably won't stop being involved in music, but I certainly will stop singing at that point. I mean, to the degree that I do it now.
There you go, crack journalist Chris Akin checking in with Ronnie James Dio. And what we can read in is that is when he stops touring, he won't stop making bad albums.
Right. And ironically, he's probably the only guy on the planet that remembers that it didn't work for Stalin.
Yeah. Yeah, he was around.
He was.
No, but, when he says he'll, stop touring, that doesn't mean that, he won't put out some... It's hard to imagine a bad Dio record, though, because they've all been great, haven't they, Chris?
Angry Machines, Magica, those things are classic.
Just utter classics. I unfortunately cut out the part about you talking about the classic Master of the Moon record,
Yeah, shivers.
Anyway, let's do some Dio right now from the Evil or Divine CD, live in New York City. Stand up and shout. It's the Metal Show on Extreme Radio.
Stand up and shout!
Hey, you. Why are you watching this with commercials? Go commercial-free and unlock exclusive content. Become a VIP today on Locals, Substack, or Rumble Premium. Stop waiting.